History buff or not, Ulysses S. Grant is a name you are most likely familiar with. Certainly he was the President of the United States, decorated war general in the Civil War, but before he was any of that, he lived here in Vancouver, Washington. There's still a house on Officers Row just outside of Fort Vancouver in downtown that's named after him, the Grant House. And one of the most fascinating connections to Ulysses S. Grant and the Clark County area to me is the town of Battleground. A lot of people ask, how in the world did Battleground get its name? What war or battle occurred here? And it's a funny story because in 1855, there was a battle that was planned between the Klickitat Native American tribe and the U.S. Army, being led by Lieutenant Grant. Now, Captain Strong, if you're local to Battleground, you see that name all over the place. There's an elementary school named after Captain Strong. Captain Strong was an incredible peacemaker, and he was able to strike an agreement between the Native Americans and the Americans. The battle got called off. The place that battle was set to occur was what we now know as Battleground. So Battleground, it's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek name. It's the town named after a battle that never actually happened, but has a connection to one of the most famous names in American history. Now, whether it's because of its connection to Ulysses S. Grant and battle, I don't know, but Battleground has definitely kept its American roots and heritage. It's a place that has a really cool main street with lots of local shops and restaurants, some of the best antique stores and used bookstores in all of Clark County. You're gonna see American flags flying all over the place. And it's also this real mix of like country, rural, but still close to the cities and having a lot of amenities of a developed suburb. It's this incredible mashup and a really, really cool spot to live. Part of what makes it so amazing is how beautiful it is. Now, Battleground, pretty much anywhere that you look, you're gonna have views of Mount St. Helens or Mount Hood. You've got all of the foothills and the Gifford-Pinot National Forest on the east side of the city. And then you've got these wide open spaces. There's still a lot of farmland, undeveloped space. If you like kind of that country feel and just having that space to breathe where not every corner is developed, well, Battleground could be a great spot for you. You're also very close to Lewis River, Louisville State Park, to Lucia Falls, and to Molten Falls, and awesome hikes and walks and things that you can do around there. So if you're a nature lover, well, Battleground's kind of your access to some of the best spots for hiking, exploring, mountain biking, or if you like going on motorcycle rides or bike rides, there's all kinds of great windy roads that can take you all the way up to Mount St. Helens if you'd like. Beautiful spot for nature lovers. Also, if you just like more of that small town, close-knit community feel and vibe, well, Battleground has that in loads. It's definitely a shop local, support local kind of town. It's also a town that really loves to come together for big events. There's an awesome 4th of July parade that just takes over all of Main Street. A lot of involvement where people are going to high school football games or cheering on high school sports. A lot of pride of being a resident of Battleground, which is pretty cool to see. The people who live there really seem to love living there. And so if you're looking for, well, how do I get connected into more of a tight-knit community? Well, Battleground may just be the spot for you. A lot of pride, a lot of people that just love being there. The schools in Battleground have not always had the best reputation. I'll be honest about that. Having been one that grew up and went to high school in Vancouver, graduated from Mountain View High, we kind of always looked forward to games against Battleground. This is back in the early 2000s because, well, we thought those were going to be the easy ones, the obvious victories. Not so much anymore though. With all of the development that has been happening in the Battleground area, come with it both greater population and an inflow of money. tax revenue and otherwise, that's gone into the school system so that there's been a lot of new schools, a lot of investment in the administration and in the teachers, which ultimately funnels down to investment in students and a much higher quality of education than perhaps what Battleground developed a reputation for 20, 30 years prior. So you can of course do all of your own research on the school ratings, but from my own on-the-ground experience, well, the Battleground school system is definitely on the up and up. Battleground is also really known for the homeschooling community though. From back in the 1980s, some of the earliest folks that were really developing the homeschool movement in America found themselves in Battleground. A lot of the early curriculum and thoughts around co-ops and how to do homeschooling well was developed right there with little pods of people in Battleground and then having an influence all across the nation, especially in the recent years since COVID, where homeschooling has really taken off. And so if homeschooling or kind of that homesteading lifestyle is something that you're into, well, Battleground may well fit that culture, that vibe. Other things that I love, I've mentioned that Battleground has developed a lot, and so you do have this real mix. And by mix, I mean a real mix, where there are some beautiful multi-million-dollar custom builds on 5 acres of land, some of the nicest real estate and homes in Clark County you can find in Battleground. But then you'll also find very affordable duplexes and townhomes, many of which were recently built in the last 10 to 15 years. And of course, in the last 5 years in particular, Battleground, for whatever reason, property, dirt itself, has remained more affordable than other spots in Clark County, which has made it a real hotspot for fantastic local builders. And so builders like New Tradition Homes, Pacific Lifestyle Homes, Generation Homes. So these local builders have invested a ton into Battleground, making these beautiful little communities so that whether you're looking for property, whether you're looking for just your first home, maybe a townhome, or whether you're looking to move up, but you don't want a whole lot of land, but you do want a beautiful community and parks and things to enjoy, well, Battleground has a mix of all of it for you. There's also quite a bit of industry. There are several businesses that have gotten their start or establishing themselves in Battleground. Some of the biggest land developers have their hub or home base in Battleground. That would be companies like Tapany is there. There's Maddox Industrial Transformer. They've grown a ton in the last 10 years. There's also companies like Polaris that have offices in Battleground. So you have this real mix of local businesses, mom and pop shops, as well as some of these still local but much, much larger companies that serve not just Battleground, not even just Clark County, but the whole region, if not the whole nation. Battleground is one of the most conservative spots in all of Clark County, if not all of Washington State. Now, people are either going to love that or they're going to be kind of turned off by that. Now, it doesn't mean that if you are more liberal in your political leanings that you're not going to have a wonderful community and people that you can connect with and thrive in a place like Battleground. But it just does mean you kind of know what sort of political persuasions perhaps the majority of your neighbors are going to have, or what kind of yard signs you're probably going to see come election season. And I do think that that's something that you should be prepared for, because again, you're either going to be really drawn to that, or you might be a little bit made uncomfortable by it. And I just think that that's something that you've got to feel out. Now, that being said, it is a wonderful spot. I have met so many friendly, loving, warm people that want nothing more than to create a very, very hospitable and inclusive community. So I've got nothing but good things to say about Battleground as a place and about the majority of the people that I've interacted with that live there. If you're into natural beauty, if you like having more open spaces, if you love that small town feel and shopping local without having to sacrifice needing to drive 30 minutes to get to a grocery store, well, Battleground could be a very, very good fit for you. As I mentioned, there are so many housing options. It runs the gamut from first-time starter homes starting in the upper threes, low $400,000 range, all the way up to homes that are in the $3 to $4 million range. So whatever you're looking for, you will be able to find it in Battleground. And of course, I would love to help in that search. So if you want to learn more about Battleground, if you want to learn more about Clark County, if you want some help just comparing these different areas and just asking somebody who knows Clark County almost as well as I know the back of my hand, well, then let's talk. I would love to help you find the best spot for you given your unique desires, the things that you're into. I'm sure that it's out there. I'd love to help you find it. So connect with me by using the links in the description below. I'd love to talk further with you. Before you go, if you know a Battleground, well, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you love the town? Do you hate it? What do you think is best about it? What would you change? I'd love some feedback. And of course, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, all the things that you do to show me that you're out there, to show me that I should keep creating these videos that help you get to know my favorite place in the Pacific Northwest, Clark County, Washington.